and welcome to Mad About You YouTube channel. My name is Madeleine. I'm your host for today. I use she, her and her pronouns, and I come to you today on the land of the Gubbi Gubbi people of the Sunshine Coast, and I pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging. It is today the 27th of July 2022. I leave for Europe in two days. And yeah, this is my July in review. Obviously, it's a bit early, but I'm about to head up north the coast to see my grandma and my parents. And I've done some knitting and I wanted to record it today, so I've got time to edit tomorrow or Friday. Before I head off, my housemate is home. There's washing on new microphone, so hopefully that helps our sound problems we've had a little bit. But yeah, welcome. If you're a new viewer, so happy to have you here. Thank you for checking my channel out. And if you are a returning viewer, I thank you so much for coming back. I really enjoy this time that you spend with me. I've got a cold coffee. It's supposed to be hot. I've reheated it 3 times this morning, but here we are. Yeah, so I can't find my extra 5, so we've hand drawn a 5 on today. And this is episode 55 of the Mad About You YouTube channel. Podcast? Anyway. So I have some finished objects to share. I have one work in progress that's active. I have some acquisitions. Sorry, I'm just looking down here is my notebook. I have a knitting attack story. And then some knit and natter blather. So yeah, let's begin. Okay, finished objects. I have 2 finished objects. The first one I don't have anymore because I gifted it yesterday. My plan was to finish it in the morning, record yesterday, so I could show you, and then gift it to my cousin. However, I ran out of time. So my cousin is pregnant with a little baby. She's due in 5 weeks, I think, 6 weeks. And I'm going to be still very much away on my holiday, so I needed to get this gift finished now before I headed off. Obviously, the baby doesn't know about me or the gift, but that was just what I wanted to get done, so I did. I have taken some cute photos, so I'll insert them here. And what you're looking at is hopefully, if I get my stuff right. This is, I have the book. Had the book. I made Caitlin the Giraffe from the Edwards Menagerie book by Kerry Broad of Toft Yarns UK. This is this one here. Actually, I don't know if you'll be able to see that. I might still have the photo. And I made it out of Morris & Sons Estate 14 ply. I showed in my last video, which was a walk through my stash, some 10 ply or 12 ply that I have by Morris & Sons. These are the 3 colours I used. So I have, I think it's called grey. I did originally order a lighter colour, but they were out of stock. This is hazelnut, and then this is chocolate, I think. So I used 4 and a bit skeins of this one here, which is the grey. I ordered 2 of, I used less than I thought of this then. I think I'll have to check how much I ordered because I have a full skein of this left over. And then there's about 15 grams left in here, I think. And then I used 25 grams of this, but all of these details are on my Ravelry page if Ravelry works for you. Keep the little tags. And I will put a portion of that in my yarn project book, which is stuck behind my cabinet door, so I can't pull that out to show you. And then I just stuff it with some polyfill. So let's talk about it. I have made several of these before. If you're a long-term viewer, you will have seen all of them. I have made the Emma Bunny, Bridget the Elephant, Oida, the Polar Bear, and I have also made the Hippo. And this one is the Giraffe. My other friends whose children I love Rufus the Lion. Anyway, my other friends whose children have had a animal made for them, they didn't get a choice. I just chose one I wanted to make. But my cousin, I let her choose from the book, and the family consensus was Samuel the koala or the giraffe. More votes towards the giraffe. I think my cousin was indifferent. I think she wanted a blanket, but I didn't have time or inclination really to make a blanket. Unfortunately, just a bit busy. So the giraffe. It was, I don't want to say it wasn't enjoyable. It was, but I found it much more challenging than the other colours. When I've made the other animals, I've also found it really easy to find videos on YouTube about the animals in the standard forms. When I was putting this one together, there's nothing for the more complicated animals in the Ed's book. So I'm going to write some feedback to Toft, because I think, I mean, they are for more experience. Like, this is in the advanced. The book is separate into like beginner, intermediate, and advanced. And advanced has 2 or more colours. But the body shape's a little bit different. The sewing on of the limbs is different in this one. So I think there should be some more videos on YouTube for people like me who are making the more advanced forms. That being said, I love an Ed's animal as a baby gift. I don't actually have any for myself. I've only made them and gifted them, so I'm going to make myself a couple at some point. But yeah, I have said to multiple people, I think they're a great gift, and it's easy to crochet. Just choose some of the more simple animals which have the standard form, fairly standard limbs, and you'll be fine. It's a really great project. So yes, he's been put in the babies. Well, they doesn't really have a room at the moment, but yeah, it's Caitlin the elephant, but it's already been given male pronouns in my family who it's been gifted to. My auntie sent me a photo this morning of it somewhere. I think it must be near the cot, near the snoot or something. So anyway, my next finished object is my pride and joy. You have heard about this if you're a returning viewer in May and June's episode, and we finally have a finished object. It is now July. I cast this off maybe a week, 2 weeks, a week and a bit ago. I wore it last Thursday, so yeah, nearly a week ago. Before that, earlier than that. So it took a couple of days to dry. This is the Foxberry pullover by Sari Nordland. I wonder if I put that camera back. I haven't got it on because it's not cold here, but what I might actually do is put it on. But we'll talk about the yarn first. It was knit in 4 skeins of this Carnival DK, which is non-superwash wool, which I loved. I absolutely loved. The colourway is Dawn and the brand is Circus Tonic Handmade. I alternated skeins throughout except for the yoke, and I think it's quite noticeable. But I just, it's my first time knitting a yoked sweater that's lace yoke as opposed to colour work. And I just didn't have it in me to alternate, and I thought, oh, it won't be that obvious. It's a bit obvious, but that's okay. All right, let's mute the microphone and I will pop it on. Okay, I don't know how the sound quality is going to be. Let's adjust the camera. Okay, so Foxberry pullover, Sari Nordland. I've written about it in my Ravelry notes, my whole process. I started knitting the size 4 based on my measurements, and all of this is on my Ravelry page. So I knit the yoke in a size 4, and then I got to about here, I think, and I tried it on and I was like, oh, it's quite roomy. And I was due to do another round of increases. So what I actually I asked for some help on Instagram, and what I actually ended up doing is not doing the next lot of increases and knitting the rest as a size 3. So we're a bit roomy in here, but that's totally fine. The neckline is a long double folded brim, and I've just crocheted, like single crocheted that down. So it is a loose up the top and then a little bit tight in here. I have yarn left over. I mean, I haven't sewn off the end properly, so I'm not sure if I'll keep it tacked down how it is. And then there's this beautiful lace detail in the sleeves here. And so the colour is a little bit washed out on the camera at the moment just with my lighting. It's more of a richer pink. Other thing is so my hip bones are here. I guess my natural waist is there. And it finishes like just on top of just under my hips. And I think if I knit it again, I'd probably knit another inch of stockinette and then do ribbing maybe, so it's just a little bit longer, or even half an inch. But it's done I did a beautifully stretchy bind off. And yeah, this is my Rhinebeck sweater because I'm going to Rhinebeck in, I think, 82 days. So yeah. Okay, let's take this off. Okay, I did just get it caught on my earring just then, which is not great. So yeah, I really, honestly, I loved the pattern. It was so well written. I had that gauge issue obviously in the beginning, but I would 100% and plan on knitting more Sari Nordland patterns. I just really enjoyed it. I loved the lace yoke. I'm really glad I made this. I didn't persist with the brocane, which I think I still will knit at some point, but I just was really struggling with that, and I'm really happy. I think it took me about just over 2 months to make, and I basically didn't knit on anything else. I was fairly monogamous. So yeah, I've worn it once, just on top of a t-shirt last week. It was coldish. It's not cold today at all. I reckon it's probably 20 degrees now. We had a cold snap about 2 weeks ago, so it was definitely cold enough, but it wasn't finished. So yeah, they are my finished objects. I am so happy with this jumper. I loved it. I loved every second of it, even the stockinette. And I really love this detail on the sleeve. I just think it ties the whole thing together and it's just super beautiful. I did helical knitting and I alternated skeins the whole way except for the yoke, or like the lace portion. Yeah, beautiful. All right, so now it has to go on the post to my friend Robin, who's coming to Rhinebeck with me, and she's going to bring it over from Australia because it will not fit in my backpack to take to Europe. Okay, what have we got next in my little notebook? Work in progress. Okay, so I asked about travel knitting. I had some suggestions about dishcloths, socks, something else. I've decided to do socks. Oh man, where did I put that tag yesterday? Give me a moment. Oh, okay, can't find it. So the yarn I'm using is by Saltwater Yarns. It is called Sailor's Delight, and I bought this colorway when I was in Western Australia, sorry, back in 2019. It's a really soft pink. Oh, it's like a cream with pink and blue and yellow speckles, or kind of accenty details. So I cast on. I split the yarn into 250-gram thingies. One is pulling from the inside, so it's in a very thin yarn sleeve, and then this one I'm just pulling from the outside. I had cast on one sock at a time, but I'm planning on knitting them 2 at a time because I have trouble making my socks match if I don't. But this is how they're knitting up so far. And I'm just using a ChiaoGoo red lace 100cm cable in 2.25mm needles, and I've cast on 64 stitches because I'm knitting a pattern. I just need to put some needle tip holders on the end of that, and I've just got them in a DPN cozy that I sewed for myself last year. Oops. So just get that. Oh my gosh, I'm so struggling. In there. Go in, my friends, go in. Okay. I am knitting a pattern sock. They're called the Rockpool socks by Mina Phillip. I bought this sock set sock pattern set, I think in 2018, and I knit maybe 2 pairs. It was like a sock club, 6-month sock club. I knit the first 2 months, January and February, and then after that I didn't knit anymore. I'm like, oh, I hate pattern socks. Anyway, I was planning on doing vanilla sock, and then my friend Mel of 3 Cats Yarn suggested, you on? Yeah, okay, good. Just checking. She suggested a pattern sock so I don't lose interest because it's a long time on the flight. I'm also packing 2 9-inch circular needles, so hopefully what I might do is just put them straight in a DPN Cozy 2 so they look a little bit less conspicuous. And then I think I need to pack that in my actual bag. It's just another sock needle set and 2 DPNs, which are helpful when you're transferring yarn, like from 2, if you're knitting 2 at a time, but you cast on separately. So what I usually do is I knit 2 at a time and then knit 10 rows of my rib, and then I will cast on the other one and knit 10 rows and then transfer them onto the same 100 centimeter circular needle. And then, I mean, you do get a little bit twisty, but nothing a little bit of gravity magic won't fix. And there is a trick to 2 at a time knitting about when you like swapping the project bag, when you swap sides. But anyway, I don't know if they'll be knit the whole way. What I might actually end up doing is once I start the pattern, take them back onto the 9-inch, and then I need the longer cable for when I'm doing the heel. That's my work in progress. That's all I'm taking to Europe. The first couple of days I'll be really busy with family, and then we pop to Amsterdam. So hopefully I've finished these socks, and then on day 1 of Amsterdam we can pop to Stephen and Penelope, and I'll get my sister to choose a sock yarn. I'll ask them to wind it up for me, and then I will knit her a pair of socks while we're out and about together. I think probably whilst I'm actually traveling, as opposed to like on the plane, the 9-inch circular is probably going to be the easiest, like so I can knit and walk or whatever, or probably just easier. There's less yarn management, so you know I may not end up doing them. I might do 2 at a time concurrently as opposed to 2 at a time. Yeah, so that's all I'm taking. Now, leading on to that, we have acquisitions. So I have already recorded this segment of the video, and then I noticed I had something in my teeth, and I looked at it, and it's about 12 minutes. So I'll be trying to be quicker this time, but there was no bloody way I could upload that. It was really noticeable. I just really wish I had noticed before. Okay, so let's start with I found that yarn tag. There we go. Saltwater yarns, salty sock, 80% merino, 20% nylon, and the color was called Sailor's Delight. So I will stick this little swing tag in my knitting notebook. Okay, I bought this linen quill from Pearl Soho maybe in May, end of May, I think, and it arrived in June. I forgot to talk about it last month. So this is for the half and half triangles wrap. I am planning on making this when I get home from overseas. If you watch Katie Jack's knits, stress knits, so many people have made this, and once they've made one, they say they have to make multiple. The climate I live in is probably not conducive, but I'm making one, and I think it's going to be like my have it over the back of my chair in the staff room, just because sometimes air conditioning can be really cold inside buildings, or maybe it'll end up being a lap blanket, I'm not sure. But anyway, the colours I chose are these 2 here. I think this one is called Rhubarb Pink. It is a heathered yarn, so if you look really closely you can see the whitey speckles, and that's because the blend is 50% Highland wool, 35% alpaca, 15% linen. You get 439 yards to 100 grams. Tell it's an American company because there's no meterage on there. And then it hand washed in cold, lie flat to dry, made in Peru. And then this other color I've got is called Peony Pink. I love peonies. And this one, same blend. I think they'll be really beautiful together. After I bought it, they had a 25% off sale. So what was going to happen essentially is I planned on buying this at Pearl Soho in America, and then they had a 25% off sale. And I just looked at the shipping, which I didn't think was too unreasonable. And I just thought, rather than coming home with this many skeins in my suitcase after Rhinebeck, and not knowing whether they were going to be having a sale when I was there, it made sense to me that I would just buy it, get it posted here. And to be honest, I was going to not mention it at all and pretend that I picked it up when I was overseas, and then I just went, I shared it on my Instagram because I couldn't wait to show that it had arrived. So I will cast it on in probably November. And I'm thinking maybe we can have a half and half wrap along, like an Australian half and half wrap along. However, we're going into summer. And so maybe needing such a big project might not be great. Anyway, we'll see. See how we go. Okay, the other acquisitions I got. Two things from Ash and Eve. I actually got a few things from Ash and Eve Designs. So Ash and Eve Designs is run by Susan. Into washing machine. By Susan. I met Susan in person 2-3 weekends ago. And we've been Instagram friends for 2 years maybe. So this is her Australian sock base. It's a fingering to sport weight 4-ply. It's 80% superwash Australian merino, 20% nylon. And this colorway is called Cheshire Cat. I bought this actually for a friend in America. So along with my jumper, this is getting posted to my friend Robin, who will bring it to America. And then this one here is called Drusilla. It's from her Vampire Slayer collection. Soft sock fingering, so it's superwash merino, 75%, 25% nylon. You get slightly more meterage in this, but it is a finer weight yarn. It was wrapped nicer than this, but I have unwrapped it because I almost cast this on for a Musselburgh hat to take travel knitting, but then I decided on socks. This will stay in stash, and then next year probably a pair of socks or a Musselburgh. So beautiful. It's very similar, I don't have it handy, to another colour that I had from a UK dye that I bought 5 years ago or something. And I loved that yarn, and I really love this so much. This is more berries and less grungy like the other pair, so I'm really, really stoked. I love it. And the other thing I bought, and I can't find them for the life of me, was no, I can. I think yesterday's me. Okay, so it comes in a little tin, and these are those try-on cords. So there's 3 different lengths in the tin, and you just smoosh the end of your needle. Let me see if I can. Okay, so say I use this trying on my jumper actually. So you just smush the end in like this. It's really grippy, so you don't have to like push it too far. And then you would put this one in this end, and then it gives you extra length, and you can push your yarn over through it. I'm pulling pretty hard before that comes off. And yeah, 3 lengths, and it came this really cute little tin. I've seen them from lots of people, but Susan's local to me, and I wanted to support local business, so I bought these from her, and I'm so happy that I did. It was made my jumper experience much easier. So what I think I might actually do is just with a permanent marker or some nail polish, maybe just make a little mark for each length, so I can really easily, without having to unwind them, be like, oh, that's the short, that's the medium, that's the long. But yeah, I love this. The last thing I acquired recently is this Chalgu mini needle set. Thank you to I've forgotten your first name. You run the Luminates podcast. Go check that out. I'm so sorry. Your first name has escaped me. She suggested when I was lamenting about what I'm going to pack or just buying needles, that I buy this little Chalgu mini set. So this is the blue set. They've got the small connectors, and it goes from a US 4, which is a 3.5mm for us metric lovers, to a US 8, which is a 5mm needle. And each needle size comes in 2 tip lengths. So we have 2 inches and 3 inches. And these were super helpful when I was doing the sleeves on my jumper. So what I actually had is a long needle on one end and a short needle on the other end, and they were the same size. So I bought this because I probably will end up making some beanies or something while I'm away. Oh, I need to make a beanie for New York while I'm away. So yeah, they come with their own smallish cables, so 13, 15 and 20 centimeters. And then I've also packed for myself I think it's 100 centimeter cable. 75, so 30 inches, 75. So I thought if I decide to cast on a shawl or something while I'm away, I've got a longer cable and the smaller needles. So they do apparently have a habit of escaping the packaging. I haven't had that as a big problem so far, but I'm just keeping them in their little pouch, and then this is going in my checked luggage. I'm a bit nervous about putting them, my bag getting lost and then being on it, but there's plenty of things in there that I'll be devastated if it gets lost. So Susan from Ashton also sells these, but I didn't realize that, and I bought these from Sunspun. They're so handy. So needing a jumper, I highly recommend these two. Accoutrement tools. Okay, that's everything. So I've been knitting attacks. We haven't had one of these for a long time. So I've been wearing this jumper, which is the only other me-size successful jumper, which is the Radiate by Hohi Locatelli. I knit this back in 2018. Anyway, the day I finished my Foxberry, I blocked it, washed and blocked it, and it was fine. I pinned it out my blocking mat. I also had some food that I'd like spilled on this jumper, and I brought it to a family function, and a few people pointed it out, so I was like, oh, I best wash it. So anyway, I do pop it in the wash. I hand soak it, but very quickly, like I gave it a little bit of a scrub. It's super wash. It needed to be in the washing machine, not a hand wash tub thing like the super wash, but other non-super wash. Anyway, I pull it out and it's like a shirt dress. I wish I had taken a photo, and I was terrified. I shit you not, like I just nearly had a conniption. So anyway, I pulled it out and wrung it out, and then I spun both of them in a separate bra bag each in the washing machine to get rid of the excess water. And the Foxberry did totally fine. This one not so great. So anyway, I kid you not, it was a dress. And then I had to go to work because I had a relief day at school. So I put it on a wash cycle, a very low spin wash cycle. And then when I got home, I looked at it and I was like, this is no good. It's still a shirt dress, a jumper dress. And then I remembered probably from Very Pink or someone that superwash yarn can go in the washing machine and the dryer, and it needs to retain its shape. So I spent the next 45 minutes. I never dry on high, and I use my dryer very often, and I don't dry on high. And I did, and every 15 minutes I was checking, and it came back to a normal size. So this is oversized on me. It always has been. I just think that's the front. I didn't know my gauge very well. It is still more oversized than it was. But holy dooly, at least it looks wearable, and now it's just like a comfy slouchy jumper, which wasn't supposed to be. But it was already big. So yeah, superwash needs to go. If you're having troubles, it needs to go in the dryer to activate whatever that coating is, and it will. And yes, so I did a high heat, and I checked it. I did probably like 45 minutes or an hour maybe, and then every 10 or 15 minutes, I just had a timer on my phone, and I'd go in, check it, pull it out, have a look, be like, no, it's still longer, or it's still really wet, put it back in. So yeah, anyway, I saved it. I was like, the pure joy of finishing something successfully, and then the terrible, oh my gosh, I have completely ruined the only other successful garment that I've ever made for myself. It was like the dichotomy of those two feelings was, oh, and then I had to go to school all day, hoping that I hadn't actually ruined it. And I hadn't, thank goodness, but felt like a very close call. Okay, I don't have any other notes to talk about. However, we usually would do a reading, watching, listening segment. I have been reading on Audible a book called something Daughters. Let me look it up on it's by Clare Wright. it is about the process of women in Australia getting the vote and universal suffrage, and I'm only probably 5 chapters in. Something Freedom Daughters, maybe. So Clare is an Australian historian. She wrote You Daughters of Freedom, and this was recommended for me, and the voucher for my Audible was bought by my lovely supervising teacher friend Helen. And yeah, I'm quite thoroughly enjoying that so far. But I'm probably like 6 chapters in, like I said, so that's consuming a lot of my time. That's what I'm reading. Listening, I've listened to so many podcasts recently, I can't even like pinpoint one specific one. Probably iWeigh by Jamila Jamil is always a good listen. And reading, watching lots of YouTube channels. So I've been trying to get back up on my Aussie YouTube channel watching. So I've recently discovered and become online friends with Patricia from the Serial Sewist. I have also been watching catching up on Oliphant Cat, who is Katrina Woolside. Actually, she's Oliphant Cat on Instagram. I'm not quite sure what her YouTube channel is called. I think it's might be the same. I watched lovely Astrid from Waddle and Wool's recap from her holiday, which is just hilarious, as is Astrid. So yeah, I'm trying to watch Aussie podcasters because I still watch lots of international ones, but I'm making friends with our Aussie friends. So my iPad's I've saved to not my craft account, so I can't go and look at what my thing is. Also the Boba Log by Bobby Olan. Actually haven't watched her Bendigo update, which I'll probably do tomorrow after I finish cleaning my house. That's okay. That's reading, watching, listening. Okay, life. I go to Europe in 2 days, so I think by the time you are seeing this, I will be getting on the plane because I won't have time to edit until probably tomorrow night or Friday morning, and then it'll take its time to YouTube it and go up and do whatever. So probably Friday I will put this out into the universe, and then I'll be on my way. So I have a Google sheet which has all of my planning, like what's happening, all of our info, bookings. It's got a running, like financial running sheet. My last job, which I talked about before I became a teacher, was a logistics officer for the government, and so planning stuff is my bread and butter. Like I got paid to do that. If we ran out of stuff, we went over budget, it was kind of on me. Might not have been my fault, but I was the person who was in charge of managing that. So a little bit type A, and yes. So project manage. Oh, my friends told me I project managed my my divorce. A little bit. It was overseas, busy. There was a checklist, and we just did what needed to be done. So anyway, that's a little bit of a joke I have with some of my friends. So I've had a little bit of anxiety. Okay, I've just been a bit nervous. Let's not dramatize it. It's not anxiety. I don't suffer from that typically. I've had a little bit of nervousness about, whatever. And then I just really just went with what controllables can I control? Have I controlled them? Is there mitigation? What's whatever? And then everything else I can't control. It just is what it is. It's part of the adventure. So I'm trying to really just go with the flow. I take a travel diary when I go places. And I just noticed that I hadn't actually glued in any of the stuff from my trip from the Heartbreak Down tour. I had some of it done, but not all of it. So when I was packing my travel stuff, I found the rest of it. So I got a glue stick and some sticky tape, and I've stuck all of that in, and I've packed the same diary with me, some new pens. I've packed a glue stick and some sticky tape so that I can, as I'm like generally about my day or the city or whatever, I can make sure that I can stick in stuff as I go, as opposed to being like, oh, which day in Edinburgh did I do blah blah blah. So that's funny. So that's ready. I've packed, unpacked, repacked like 7 times. I'm done. I'm going to stay with my parents tonight just to have dinner and say goodbye. So I am taking it with me. I will unpack, show my mum everything, be like, what's overkill here? And I have had a few people like, oh, I can come and help you pack. And I was like, mate, I've only got 40 litres. Like, my backpack is 42 litres. And it has a day pack that's attached to it, but I'm using that as my carry-on. So, like, I actually don't have that much stuff for 12 weeks. Lovely Robin is bringing my jumper. Mum and Dad are going to take my, like, reefy shoes for Greece, a pair of jeans, and my puffy jacket. And then when I leave Greece and leave them, I will send home some of my summer stuff or donate to charity, depending on, you know, how I feel about the things I've brought. And then when I get to Amsterdam, before I start the second half, I will probably buy just a few kind of like autumny sort of clothes, as opposed to sundresses and skirts and shorts and stuff. I'll probably keep some of that, but far less of that, because it's not going to be, excuse me, you know, on a Greek island, or, you know, drapes in Crete doing blah blah blah. So yeah, that's really exciting. We leave on Friday. I do need to go and buy some cherry wraps for my auntie who lives in England. She loves cherry wraps. It's her favourite. I don't actually have much room in my stuff, but my sister should. So I will get it to the airport and say, hey, Belle, you need to put this in your bag. So yeah, that's sorted. Rob and I spoke the other night, and we have finalised our Amtrak tickets to get us from New York City to Rhinebeck. I dug out my little, I was thinking maybe I should take a shawl with me as well. By the time everyone sees this, it'll be too late to give me any advice. So if you think of anything that I might have forgotten, please don't comment below, because I will stress about it. Unless it's something I can very easily get in Amsterdam or Poland, please don't mention it to me, because I'll have a connection when I read the comments. I found my hello, my name is whatever, a Ravelry pin. I bought this so many years ago. I've never used it at a festival, but I probably will. Maybe I should write on it before I go. I'm just gonna say, hello, my name is Madeleine. I'll put like Mad About You Instagram, and then I'll put Madbell, and then probably put my pronouns on there as well. And I'll just wear it at Rhinebeck. Yeah, I'm just so excited. I don't have anything else written down to tell you. I'm sure there's things I want to mention. I've done reading, watching, listening. Finished my coffee. I showed you my projects. So my plan for the next couple of months. I am taking a tripod. I haven't packed this yet, but my new microphones I've bought. I've got my phone, my camera. Sorry, I'm taking a little mini tripod, not my big tripod, not a selfie stick. So I'm going to try and I'm going to vlog the yarn shops that I go to. I've packed a whole lot of my business card for my Etsy shop, but like I can just like when I go to places, hopefully Google Translate will help me, and I just say, hi, look, do you mind if I record? And then I'm going to take you through the various yarn shops. I do need to my plan is to edit and then upload once a month like I do now, but if that becomes too much, or the Wi-Fi is like the editing part, I can probably do like at the end of kind of like once I visit a place, I can do it on my iPad. Who knows what it's going to look like? I edit on a software on my computer, so we're back to like the 2019 iPad days. But I've got iMovie on there, which I never used before, so I might try and give iMovie a go. And then if I can, obviously I'll upload to YouTube. If not, they'll be ready to go by the time I get back. I was kind of thinking I'll just do chunks by month, but to be honest, Rhinebeck will probably get its own video. So yeah, you'll have to wait till November to see that. We're in July now, but it's plenty of time away. Like I've got 10 weeks going through, or like 9.5 weeks through other parts of Europe before we even get to the last bit, which is like going to be Loop London, a yarn story in Bath, and then Rob and I will head across to America, which is still slightly terrifying, but hey, it is what it is. When I say slightly terrifying, I'm so sorry to any American viewers. I just come from in Australia, I live in a really sheltered place. Like I've traveled a lot. I've lived all over the country. Like I would not consider myself a sheltered person, but moving back to where I moved back to, yeah, I'm just it's very different where I come from in Australia. So the things that terrify me are guns and, you know, yeah, but it's part of the adventure. So it is what it is. And I do not mean any offense. I'm sure I will have a great time and be like, oh my God, let me come back to New York again. So yeah, okay, I'm rambling. I think we're good. Thanks so much for watching. I will see you next month on a vlog probably. Yeah. Ooh, I'm so excited. Thank you so much for watching. I forget to introduce myself every time. I'm Madbell on Ravelry. I'm Mad About You on Instagram. I would give my Instagram a follow because I will do Instagram stories or reels while I'm away and Instagram posts, obviously. So yeah, give my Instagram a follow if you haven't already. And then you could subscribe or hit the notification button and you'll know when I find out once I've uploaded something, but who knows? It could be sporadic. We could go monthly or whatever. Okay, that's enough. Oh, I can't wait to see you and show you my trip, where I'm going. It's my once in a lifetime bucket list trip, and I'm so excited. Thank you for joining me today. I will see you next month.